In the poorest year of my life, my mother was brought back to her wealthy birth family. I was obsessed with novels, especially those about real and fake heiresses. I often dreamed about plots from those stories. If only I were a wrongly swapped heiress too, then I'd have so much money. I wanted to buy my mum a huge villa and even hire 5 or 6 male models to serve her. Unexpectedly, that actually happened, but the one who had been lost for decades wasn't me. It was my mother, and I was just an ordinary rich family's niece who benefited from her. Before I could even process the shock, I was already following my mum into the Jiang family's mansion. The Jiang family's villa was massive with a garden and a fountain. I looked around and sighed inwardly, wow, this is someone's home. Even after reading 1,000 novels about real and fake heiresses, I had never imagined such luxury. Poverty really kills the courage to dream. I stayed close to my mother, glancing around nervously. My mum, who had been lost for 34 years, had just learned about her true identity. Her emotions were all over the place, and she couldn't help feeling anxious. I held her hand using this small gesture to tell her, "Mum, I'm here with you. Is your outfit okay, QQ?" My mum tugged at her cotton-padded jacket and whispered to me. That jacket was a mix of old and new, with a faint musty smell from being stored in the wooden bed for too long. But it was the best and only decent outfit. She had some things she only dared to wear during the Lunar New Year. Even so, both of us felt completely out of place, standing in front of this magnificent 3-story mansion. "You look beautiful today, Mum." To me, my mother was the most beautiful person in the world. I smiled brightly, but inside I was quietly singing, "Life in a wealthy family is never that easy." The fake real heiress novels had already shown me plenty of messy drama. The real heiress comes home only to be ignored by the family, while the fake one plays the innocent victim. But I'm here now, and I absolutely won't let my mum suffer any injustice. As soon as we stepped through the door, a group of people came over. I almost shouted, "Where's my gal?" But looking closely, I saw it was the biological parents of the Jiang family, both in their 50s, an elegant and beautiful woman, and a girl around her early teens. I was stunned. Don't tell me! That young girl is the fake heiress who took my mum's place while I was frozen. Madame Jiang and my mother were already hugging each other, crying their hearts out. After a moving reunion, I quickly understood the situation. The real heiress had returned too late, and the story was near its end. The fake one had already taken the money, gotten married, had kids, everything was already settled. I gripped an imaginary knife, looked around my heart. Hollow. My mother cried so much she couldn't speak, just kept saying "Mom" in Madame Jiang's arms. I dropped the large knife in my mind and felt like none of it mattered anymore. My mum had already suffered enough in her life. Her adoptive parents favoured sons over daughters, forcing her to quit school early to work and support the whole family. Even so, she was often beaten. When she came of age, they coaxed her into marrying just to get the bride price for her brother's wedding. She had no way to fight her fate and could only lie on the creaky wooden bed in the bathroom, convincing herself maybe after getting married, life will get a bit easier. But life is always cruel. Heaven had never shown her any mercy. Her life was just one hell after another. After marrying my father, showed his true colours. He was an alcoholic and a gambling addict. Whenever he lost money or drank, he would come home and throw punches at her. To give me a complete home, she wiped away her tears and endured everything. Until one day my father's fist no longer stopped at her and turned toward me. That was when she finally couldn't take it anymore and ran away with me. She didn't want me to become a second version of herself. After leaving my father, she raised me all on her own. That journey was unbelievably hard. She was a woman with no education, no skills, and no support. She worked 3 jobs a day, waking up at dawn and doing nothing but dirty, exhausting work. Later, she managed to save a little money and opened a small bun stall in front of my school. But even so, life never really got better. Though we were poor, she never let me suffer. She always did everything she could to give me a joyful childhood. She used to say, "QQ, as long as I'm here, you don't have to worry about anything." But now things are different. She found her birth mother. She found support. Now she could cry freely, no longer needing to carry the weight of the cruel world alone. More than anyone, I understood how much she had longed for real family love. For today's reunion, the Jiang family prepared a grand feast with all kinds of delicacies. There were many dishes I'd never even seen before. Mr. and Mrs. Jiang pulled my mum to sit at the table, and I sat beside her. During the meal, Madame Jiang kept placing food into my mum's bowl and gently asked about her life. The two of them talked while wiping tears from their eyes. Mr. Jiang quickly spoke up to change the subject. "You must be QQ, right? From now on, this is your home too. We're your grandparents now. So shouldn't you change how you address us? Are you feeling shy? QQ, why haven't you called us Grandpa and Grandma yet?" Being suddenly called out, my mind went blank. Honestly, I had come here today playing the role of a villain standing in my mum's way, and I hadn't snapped out of the act yet. Everyone laughed along with Grandpa Jiang's words, the atmosphere at the table still cheerful. Smack! The teenage girl across the table suddenly threw down her chopsticks. She was the daughter of the fake heiress surname Ko. Her name was Ko Tin Di. She cried and shouted, "They're my grandparents, not yours. You're just a country bumpkin so low class, you don't deserve to step into my house." Everyone fell silent for a moment. My mum instinctively reached out to shield me, but her face was already flushed with shame from those words. I tilted my head to observe. In that moment, the girl's mother, the fake heiress Jiang Qinya, just sat there quietly saying nothing. That meant she silently condoned her daughter's behavior. Mrs. Jiang frowned and said, "Tindi, you're not allowed to talk to your sister like that. QQ is now part of our family. She'll be staying here with you." As soon as she finished speaking, the girl bawled even louder. "She's not my family, ever since she came. Grandma and Grandpa don't care about me and Mummy anymore. They never scolded me before. She's the bad one, her mum is too." "Hoo-hoo. Mummy, do they not want us anymore? But I don't want to leave Grandma and Grandpa. They love me the most." Jiang Qinya held her daughter tightly, comforting her, while shooting us a cold look, her expression icy. "Mom, have you forgotten? Before she came back, didn't you promise me something? You said nothing in this house would change because of her. But now it's just her first day back, and you've already made Tindi feel wronged. In a few days, are you going to divide the inheritance too?" What a scheming little green tea girl. The fake heiress was brazen. She had assets in her hand and the Ko family backing her, so of course she no longer needed to pretend to be the pitiful green tea girl to win favor. Grandpa Jiang slammed the table and shouted angrily, "Qinya, what nonsense are you spouting now?" Mrs. Jiang clearly looked heartbroken. She looked at her daughter, tried to speak a few times, but couldn't bring herself to scold her. In the end, she turned to my mum and said, "Yentu, don't mind Chinya's rash words. It's my fault. But for all the years you've lost, I promise I'll make it up to you." The words were gentle, but the meaning was clear. She would compensate emotionally, but don't even think about touching the inheritance. She continued softly, "I'll have Aunt Wong prepare a guest room. You and Kyokyu don't go home tonight. Stay here and rest." As soon as she said that, I understood everything. The affectionate scene just now was nothing but an illusion. In this Jiang household, everything still belonged to the fake heiress Jiang Qinya. Even the hearts of the grandparents leaned toward her. Haha, it's already 2025 and we're still dealing with this kind of bloody dog blood drama. Mum and I officially stayed at the Jiang mansion. Though it was just a temporarily prepared guest room compared to our tiny rental, it was spacious and well-equipped. I lay on the soft bed fuming with rage until 3 a.m. Moonlight spilled through the window onto my mum's sleeping face, peaceful, beautiful, gentle, which only made the Jiang family's hypocritical faces seem darker and uglier. I was so angry I had to read stories to cool off. I opened my massive stash of real heiress, fake heiress novels. Every time I got mad, I'd read them. I'd read until I forgot the world, even forgot to eat or sleep. I devoured several reincarnation novels, then tore apart the fake heiress's whole family. The real heiress abandoned, I listened to my inner voice and slapped everyone's face. After reclaiming her identity, the real heiress sent the whole family to the grave. After binging hundreds of novels, I screamed inwardly in rage. The real heiress finally returns and the story's almost over. The green tea girl already got married, had kids and took the money. What now? Someone give me a solution. I'm online and desperate. I searched through novels but found no answer. This question was too hard. Master, I give up. My body felt hot. So I was just thirsty. My mouth was as dry as the desert. I quietly left the room. Suddenly, Cotine D appeared. She was wearing an all-white dress from head to toe, looking like a ghost. I thought I really had seen a ghost. In her hand was a glass of water like she had it ready in advance. Hey, you, why did you even come back? Why did you steal my grandparents from me? Her face twisted in fury. They're my grandparents. It would have been better if you two just died out there. Why did you come back? Go die. Both of you just died. I hadn't even reacted when she splashed the entire glass of water onto my face. Right after that, her whole body tilted backward, falling straight to the floor. The glass shattered into countless pieces. Her pale hand landed on the ground, a sharp shard cutting a deep gash into her skin. Bright red blood dripped onto the white shards, staining them a vivid crimson. In just a flash, the entire mansion lit up. Rushed footsteps echoed toward us. My heart pounded like war drums. My ears buzzed. I couldn't hear anything clearly. Until that moment when Cotine D suddenly wailed from the floor, "Sister, my mum and I never meant to take anything from you and Auntie. Please don't hit me anymore. If you want anything, I'll give it to you. Everything that's mine, you can have it. Just don't drive us away. My mum is heartbroken over Grandma and Grandpa, and me too. I don't want to leave them. They love me the most." She was lying in Jiang Qinya's arms, her face pale blood still oozing from her hand. She clutched tightly at Jiang Mom's sleeve. No one would believe a 10-year-old could lie like that. Oh my God, incredible! I truly wanted to applaud and scream. Absolutely brilliant. So it turns out green tea skills can be inherited, and the next generation is even more cunning than the last. Honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if she later became the exclusive spokesperson for the almighty green tea brand. QQ. I turned around and saw Mum standing behind me, face pale as if she might collapse. Cotine D was taken away for treatment. The whole Jiang family sat on the sofa in silence. Jiang Qinya was the first to explode. I really can't believe such a young child could be attacked like that, Mum. Ting Di is only 10 years old. Her hands are meant for playing piano. I've protected her since she was little, never let her get hurt even once. She's only been back for a single day and already Ting Di is injured. No matter what, you have to give me an explanation. Madame Jiang remained silent. Jiang Dad said coldly, "Good thing Ting Di's hand isn't permanently damaged. Otherwise, the Ko family definitely wouldn't let this go. If our relationship with the Ko family breaks down because of this, things will get ugly fast." Jiang Qinya scoffed. Like mother, like daughter. I was so furious I could explode. I was about to speak up, but unexpectedly Mum beat me to it. "It wasn't QQ. I know my child. QQ is the kindest girl. She could never do such a thing." I froze. My vision blurred. "Mom!" She gently patted the back of my hand, voice firm and unwavering. "My QQ would never do something like this." Madame Jiang frowned Yentu. "I understand how you feel as a mother, but if you keep covering for your daughter, you'll only hurt her in the long run. Look at Ting Di, seriously injured. The doctor said it was just a hair away from permanent damage. You just came back, so maybe you don't know. Ting Di loves playing piano. If she can't play again in the future, what will become of her? A child's entire life could be ruined. The truth is right in front of us. Why are you still protecting her?" Yentu, listen to me. Just have QQ apologize to Tindi and Chinya. We're still a family after all. Mum shook her hand away. Mum, didn't you just say it yourself? I'm QQ's mother. I carried this child for 10 months. I love her, trust her, and I must protect her. Tears shimmered in her eyes. Madame Jiang froze, then looked down shaken. Mum straightened up, standing tall before everyone. This is a misunderstanding. Please investigate. Check the cameras. That's the only way to clear QQ's name. I burst into tears in her arms. I was so much luckier than Mum, because I had a mother like her. I just couldn't understand, how could a mother not love her own child? Madame Jiang was Mum's mother too, yet I never felt even a shred of affection from her. Jiang Dad shouted, "Investigate what? Isn't this shameful enough already? Have QQ apologize to Tindi right now. We raised that child ourselves, we know her personality. She doesn't lie. She's injured like this, and you still won't say sorry." His disappointed gaze made Mum tremble, barely able to stand. We had only just returned to the Jiang family. Any warmth we just began to feel was instantly extinguished, cruelly slapped down by cold reality. They gave us hope, only to drown it. Footsteps echoed from outside. The Jiang family's eldest son, Jiang Tan, rushed in from the company and scolded as soon as he arrived, barely back and already causing such a scene. "Mum, Dad, if something really happens to Tindi's hand, can they take responsibility? How do we explain this to the Ko family? I heard everything at the door. Just apologize. If not, I'll have no choice." But to call the police Jiang Tan Mom's biological younger brother, same father and mother separated for years, had absolutely no affection for her. Mum's body froze on the spot. I stared in disbelief. This family really was insane. If Mum couldn't fight them alone, then I would join the battle. No need to bother, I've already called the police. The entire Jiang family turned to look at me in shock. I calmly placed a recorder on the table, pressed play. It repeated word for word everything Ko Tin Di had just said. Her arrogance, her smugness, her threats, once again echoed throughout the room. Having read hundreds of real Heiress versus fake Heiress novels, how could I not know the importance of voice recordings and surveillance cameras? I didn't have money to buy it, so I shamelessly begged a classmate to lend me one. Who would have thought it'd actually be this useful? Before the police arrive, I suggest you all figure out how your little green tea girl is going to explain herself. At first, I just wanted to let the police handle it and be done, but now it's different. You've pissed me off. I swept my eyes over the Jiang family. Everyone lowered their heads, eyes dodging mine. No one dared meet my gaze. My mum whispered quietly, "Q, what's green tea, sweetheart?" Right then, the family doctor stepped in. "The young miss has regained consciousness." Jiang Qinya turned to look at Jiang Mom, eyes red Mom. Madame Jiang was heartbroken, no longer mentioning the recording. She merely softened her voice and gently advised this was just a misunderstanding. "Now that Tindi is awake, let's just drop it. Kids get into scuffles sometimes." Even my mother, who had just returned, could now clearly see that the Jiang family's bias could flow straight into the Pacific Ocean. If anyone still wanted to find a needle at the bottom of that ocean, they'd need to have water in their brain. When Tindi got hurt, they demanded I apologize. But now that I've been falsely accused, they want to move on. How does that make any sense? My mum has one weakness, and that's me. Even without proof, she instinctively protected me. Now that we have proof, there's no way she'd let me be wronged like this. Madame Jiang spoke softly, as the old saying goes, "Harmony brings prosperity." Yen too. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I exploded in anger. "What do you mean by that? To achieve so-called harmony, you want to use my mum and me as sacrifices? If that's the case, why did you even bring my mum back? I have one question for you, Aunt Jiang. You've been living my mum's life for over 30 years. Thanks to the Jiang family's support, you're now a famous artist enjoying fame and fortune. You even took my mum's fiancé, real estate tycoon Ko, and had a child with him. Now you've got money to send your daughter to piano lessons. All of that was supposed to belong to my mum. And my mum. You all already investigated, didn't you? Parents who favoured sons over daughters beat her every day and forced her to marry an alcoholic, abusive man. All the suffering my mum endured was originally meant for you. You took all the blessings that should have been hers, and now you dare stand there accusing her of stealing from you. Aunt Jiang, have you no shame? Jiang Qinya was so furious she nearly fainted. What nonsense are you spouting? You're clearly not one of us. You don't even speak like family, I sneered. And the rest of you, this whole Jiang family. You brought my mum back only to demand that she and I endure everything, just to protect that woman and her daughter. This is what you call making it up to us. A parasite like her standing there acting all high and mighty, absolutely disgusting. The wicked supporting female leads in novels raised me. I pointed right in each of their faces, radiating the fierce energy of a heroine ready to conquer the world, shouting them down so hard, not a single one dared speak up. Today I will make them understand. My mum is the one who's weak, pitiful, and most deserving of love and protection. And you lot, thinking you're the main characters, that you're somehow nobler than the rest. Sensing the shift in power, the fake heiress Jiang Qinya suddenly changed her tone. Gone was the arrogance. She began to cry. It's my fault for taking someone else's place. I shouldn't have stayed here. I'll go back, tell the Ko family everything, ask for a divorce from Ko Ngondin, and leave with Tin Di. As for the Jiang family shares you gave me, I won't take a single cent. I'll return it all to you. Mum, Dad, I'm sorry. I won't be able to stay and care for you until the end. Madame Jiang burst into tears. She rushed to pull Jiang Qinya back. What are you saying? Don't go. Stay with us. Stay with your brother too. The scene of the whole family embracing in tears truly made me want to puke. I'd change tactics. If I couldn't win their affection, I'd settle for the money. I cut in, fine, fine, fine. Say it and do it. Then, right now, transfer all the shares in her name to my mum. Those shares rightfully belong to the Jiang family's daughter. My mum deserves them. Go get a lawyer and draw up the contract. Jiang Tan's face turned as dark as the bottom of a pot. Just returned and already asking for money. Disgraceful. To them, money mattered more than family. Huh? I smirked and snapped back sassily. Oh, wow, money matters more than blood now. What is this, the modern version of no food, so let's eat the poor? Seems like the Jiang family, you're not giving us love, not giving us money either. So you brought us back just to torment us for fun, right? I have no power, no voice to speak of. Madame Jiang turned to my mum sternly, asking, Yen Tu, is that what you think too, that money matters more than family? We're blood relatives, we share the same lineage. My mum began to waver. After all, Jiang blood still flowed in her veins. Mum, I didn't mean it like that. Madame Jiang's expression immediately softened. She turned to comfort Jiang Qinya. See, you're being petty again. I told you your sister won't fight you over anything. Before Ngonding comes back, just stay here like a good girl. Don't go anywhere. Jiang Qinya was already 34 years old, and yet Madame Jiang still coaxed her like a child. My mother's eyes turned red instantly. That was the family affection she had longed for her entire life, yet never truly received. Even after having her own family, she never got even a sliver of love. No one genuinely cared about my mother's feelings, Mum. She went into the room to pack up our things, determined to take me away from the Jiang family. Mum, do you really have to leave? She walked ahead of me, the backlight casting her silhouette in shadow. I can endure the humiliation, but I won't let you suffer too. I was crying, but suddenly burst out laughing. As long as I have my mum, then wherever we go, that place will be a palace in my heart. Madame Jiang rushed over and blocked the doorway. Yen Tu, it's the middle of the night. Where are you going? Come home, come back to your home. This is your home. Not, my mother firmly said. From now on, just pretend this daughter of yours never existed. Our previous residence had already been cleared out. My mother had all our things moved here. Now that we were leaving, where could we even go? Madame Jiang panicked, unable to stop her, and was forced to give in. Don't go. Please don't go. Just stay. I'll tell Tindy to apologize to QQ. She must give the child a fair explanation back at the Jiang house. Ko Tindy was awake, sitting on the sofa, her face pale. Sis, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? I stood next to my mother, silent. If I hadn't brought that recording pen, I would have had to swallow that false accusation whole. So, now what? You still expect me, the victim, to turn around and forgive the person who hurt me? Kotindi's eyes were red as she poured a glass of water from the table and walked over herself. Sis? I took the glass and right in front of the entire Jiang family, I threw the water straight into her face. Jiang Tan, who was closest, immediately lunged forward. I tilted the glass and let the last few drops fall on her. That previous splash wasn't me, but this one was. The entire Jiang family looked like they'd swallowed a hornet. Not a single person dared say a word. Because the police couldn't do anything about this, but throwing water back felt so satisfying. Jiang Tan's face darkened. It wasn't intentional. Why do you have to hold a grudge and not let it go? I looked up, meeting his gaze. Uncle, I am the one who was hurt. Whether I forgive or not is my decision. No one can force me. And whether my mum forgives Jiang Qinya or not, that's her decision. He frowned. Qinya was a victim too. She was just a child back then. She didn't know anything. It was her birth mother who caused everything. I cut him off. The one who benefits is never innocent. These sharp lines, I learnt them all from novels. Let the CEO come at me. I can still take 10 of them. The next morning, after dropping me off at school, my mum set up her bun stall in front of the gate, just like she always did. Even though yesterday had been an epic scene right during peak dismissal time, and plenty of students had seen the Jiang family's luxury car pick me and my mum up today, my mum was still dressed simply up early and selling buns like nothing happened. As soon as I walked into class, a bunch of my close friends surrounded me to gossip. Jiang QQ. I saw your mum selling buns outside the school gate this morning. I heard yesterday the Jiang family sent a luxury car to pick her up. One of them lowered their voice like it was a secret. My mum said, your mum is the long-lost heiress of the Jiang family. My mum also said the Jiang family's loaded, like rich enough to spend for generations. Why would your mum still need to sell buns? I let out a deep sigh. There's no other way. When you're not loved by your family, you can only rely on your own effort. After all, 30 years of living together means more than blood ties. The moment I finished speaking, the whole group gasped, imagining a giant drama unfolding right in front of them. They buzzed with chatter. Honestly, my mum's still the best. My mum's fried eggs are the tastiest in the world. If anyone tried to switch my mum with Aunt Jiang's family, I'd be the first to say no, totally biased. A fake heiress is still a fake. If someone stole my parents and my identity, I'd fight her to the death. Kick her out of the house. The more I told them, the angrier they got. Q. We're pooling money, steal her husband, beat her daughter. After a few days of persistently spreading the truth, the Jiang family basically crumbled, at least within the school. Someone even posted about it on the school confession wall. The comment section explosive. People even started a donation group, sent stories to local news outlets, and paid public accounts to post about it. The scandal just kept snowballing. Now everyone knew the woman selling buns outside Huangwen High was the real Jiang heiress. And the fake one, she was still living the high life in the Jiang family mansion. Netizens and students were outraged by the actions of the Jiang family. They began to panic, sending someone to guard the school gate. Today, Jiang Tan appeared in a sweater, tall and imposing, instantly attracting attention. You come home with me now. My mother looked up at him for a moment, then lowered her head and continued counting the money in the box. Made 104 yuan today. Later I can take QQ to eat the cow-style duck neck she likes. Jiang Tan's face darkened. Kung Yen, what is this act supposed to be for trying to make me and my parents feel guilty? Let me tell you straight, you're wasting your time. You wake up early, work hard the whole morning just to make this little money. You might as well come back to the Jiang house. We can give you 50,000 yuan a month for living expenses. My mother didn't even bother to reply. Jiang Tan's face grew even darker. He couldn't understand why she treated a few hundred yuan like treasure, counting it over and over. Just then, another customer arrived, and my mother happily went to serve them. Left helpless, Jiang Tan had no choice but to go into the school to find me. When he reached the schoolyard, I was in PE class. Coincidentally, Ko Ting-di also attended this international high school, and her class also had PE today. The news that her mother was the fake heiress had spread throughout the school. This international school was filled with rich kids, and in that environment, relationships were based not just on emotions, but also on background and family power. Ko Tin-di always bragged that her mother was a famous artist, but now the whole school knew her mother was a fake heiress. Her reputation took a serious blow. Her central position in class plummeted as her classmates began to distance themselves from her. She blocked my way in the schoolyard, no longer able to hide behind her usual weak and pitiful mask. "Sis, did you go around spreading lies?" I sneered. "Oh, did I? I was just telling the truth. Your mum is the fake heiress. Tell me, where did I lie, sis?" Her face turned pale. She secretly signaled to a few people behind her. But I wasn't one to be bullied easily. My friends were already hiding behind a nearby tree. Seeing the tension rise, they immediately rushed over and surrounded her. "QQ, who's this?" I smiled. "Let me introduce her. This is my little sister." "Oh wait, I mean fake little sister." The whole group burst into laughter. "So this is the daughter of the fake heiress, huh? How shameless. Still has the guts to approach QQ." Kotindi had always been the center of attention, treated like a princess, never hearing a harsh word. Her face contorted with rage, completely speechless. I scoffed. "This kind of person dares to play the school bullying card with me. I've read plenty of stories about school bullying." Just then, Jiang Tang arrived. Kotingdi's eyes turned red and she ran to him, whining, "Uncle!" He pushed past the crowd, looked coldly at me. "What are you trying to do, huh? Going around bad-mouthing us. How much more do you want to smear the Jiang family? Your mother's selling baozi in the street, and you're walking around school telling everyone about the switched daughters incident." Then he lowered his voice. "Come outside with me. Talk to your mum. Tell her to shut down that stall and come home with me." I snapped and charged at him. "What does the Jiang family losing face have to do with me and my mum? You all bullied her. That place isn't my home, and you people are no family of mine. You've always made her suffer. One day, you'll probably kick us both out just because of that girl. If we don't earn our own living, then someday you'll crush us whenever you want." He stood still. I staggered back a step. "But I'm not stupid. If I can't win, I run." And with that, I turned and bolted. Jiang Tang later came to the school a few more times, shadowing my mother for several days. After that, he stopped coming. On the contrary, whenever Mrs. Jiang scolded or criticized my mother, Jiang Tan would now begin to say a word or two in her defense. Eventually, the Jiang parents had no choice but to give in. They offered to let my mother use the space in front of the school gate to open a breakfast food stall. But my mother refused. She only wanted to raise me with her own hands. From that point on, she treated the Jiang family as if they were air. Human nature is often shameless. The colder she acted, the more the Jiang family hovered around her, like bees to honey, trying to make up for their past wrongs in any way they could. But that any way absolutely did not include anything that involved touching what belonged to Jiang Qinya. I could only sneer at that. After the real and fake heiress scandal exploded everywhere, my mother's business became more and more successful. We quietly made a plan. Once we had saved enough money, we would move away. My mother promised to find me an apartment with a big, beautiful balcony. I sat in class, mind wandering, daydreaming about that bright future, when suddenly someone burst in and shouted, "True on QQ, your mum is in trouble!" That shout shattered my dream like glass. I grabbed my bag and ran to the school gate, only to see a filthy-haired man with yellow teeth yanking my mother's hair, stuffing fallen money into his pocket and slapping her across the face over and over again. That face, I knew it all too well. It was my biological father. He robbed my mother of all her money, then pulled a knife from his pocket. I screamed like a madwoman and charged straight at him. Maybe years of drinking had sapped his strength, because my stab actually knocked him down. I shielded my mother. "Someone's trying to kill, call the police, call the police." My mother and I were also taken to the station. Inside, my father still wouldn't stop. He cursed non-stop and even tried several times to hit my mother again. I stood firmly in front of her. "Just try hitting my mum one more time. I'm not a kid anymore. I won't let you lay a single finger on her ever again." The police quickly restrained him. The Jiang family arrived soon after. With just one glance, they immediately recognized the reeking drunk man who had been shouting he was the attacker. From the filthy words coming out of his mouth, they figured it out: he was my biological father. My mother was covered in bruises, one side of my face was swollen. Everything laid bare how she had been living all these years. Hearing secondhand didn't compare to seeing it firsthand, and even seeing it still wasn't enough to truly understand. But the most unexpected thing was that my mother's adoptive parents also showed up. As soon as they saw her, they began cursing and rushed over to hit her. "You shameless wench, you dare run away! Let's see how far you think you can run. Come home with us. You had a good life and threw it away. Left your husband, left your parents, ran off with a child. Ungrateful, disgraceful, not worthy of being a woman." They tried to drag my mother away, but kept casting glances at the Jiang family as if expecting something. Jiang Tan was the first to lose patience. He stepped up and blocked them. "She's not your daughter, she's my biological sister. She's a daughter of the Jiang family." My mother's adoptive parents hesitated, but still shouted back, "What nonsense are you spouting? She's our daughter, our daughter." This absurd play finally ended when the Jiang family stepped in and handed a large sum of money to my father and my mother's adoptive parents. Only then did they let her go. It was the biggest joke I had ever heard. The victim had to pay compensation for the mental distress of her abusers. The more I thought about it, the more off it all seemed. That day, everything happened far too coincidentally. My mother had fled with me for years. I had even changed schools. My father couldn't possibly have found us, and her adoptive parents had no reason to search. So how did they all show up all on the same day? One weekend, I lied to my mum and told her I was visiting a friend's house. In truth, I secretly followed my father. Using my memories, I crossed a few alleyways and ended up in a dilapidated, run-down street. Just then, a luxury car appeared out of nowhere. A man in black stepped out and handed my father a thick wad of cash. Inside the car, a woman wearing sunglasses sat quietly. It was Jiang Qinya. I hid in a corner and watched as the car drove away, then stepped out. So reality was even crueler than fiction. The fake heiress never had any intention of letting us go. Now that she had money power and the co-family backing her, she could use my father like a knife. She could plunge into my mother's back at any time to destroy her life. I took a deep breath. My mother had nothing left. I had to protect her no matter what. From that day on, I changed completely. I took the initiative to get close to Mr. and Mrs. Jiang, acted cute to win their favor, and occasionally let slip that my mother really valued family bonds. They gradually felt at ease. When Grandpa Jiang's 70th birthday celebration was approaching, they agreed to let my mother and me attend, but only as the adopted daughter and her mother. I immediately nodded in agreement. As for my mother, she was even easier to convince. As long as I said I wanted to go, she would definitely go with me. The Jiang family sent over 2 formal dresses. This was the first time my mother had worn such a beautiful gown. She gently caressed the soft fabric. "QQ, this dress is so beautiful. Compared to her old padded coat, it was 1,000 times more beautiful." I rested my head on her shoulder, gazing at her reflection in the mirror in awe. My mother shared many features with Mrs. Jiang. With just a light touch of makeup, she could easily outshine everyone at the party. She was originally a dazzling white swan, but life's hardships had dragged her into the mud. I couldn't let her continue to suffer like this. Mr. and Mrs. Jiang, as the hosts, were about to go on stage to give their speech. They wanted to take this opportunity to publicly announce the adopted daughter status of me and my mother. I took a glass of wine from a waiter. My mother, quick as lightning, swapped it for a glass of orange juice. "QQ, children shouldn't drink alcohol." I pouted, but as I glanced to the side, I saw a tall, cold man walking past. I splashed the orange juice on him. "I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to." "It's fine." He frowned and replied, then turned to change his clothes. I made an excuse to go to the restroom, but in reality I quietly followed him to the second floor. I knocked on his door. "Uncle Ko, have you ever thought that maybe there was a little twist in your life too?" When I returned to the ballroom, Mr. and Mrs. Jiang were already on stage giving their speech. Ko Tin Di had just finished a piano performance and stood beside her mother, looking at me smugly and proudly. Because from today on, her mother would no longer be called a fake heiress by others. Meanwhile, my mother and I would become the ungrateful ones adopted by the Jiang family. Mr. and Mrs. Jiang signaled for someone to escort my mother and me to the stage. I looked toward a corner in the crowd, waiting for someone to appear. As the speech neared its end, Mr. Jiang solemnly announced, "Finally, I would like to introduce 2 new members of the Jiang family, Ms. Kuang Yen and her daughter Truong QQ. They are the mother and daughter whom the Jiang family has just adopted." The crowd parted. A tall man in a tailored suit pushed a wheelchair, bringing in an elderly man. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Isn't that the second young master of the Ko family, Kongon Din?" I looked at the man in the wheelchair. My eyes lit up. The man in the wheelchair was none other than the Jiang family's patriarch. Who says the old man is out of the game? Old Mr. Jiang is the real trump card. I snatched the microphone and began my performance. 30 years ago, the biological mother of Jiang Qinya harbored evil intentions and secretly swapped the identities of my mother and her sister, causing the two to switch lives. Now, even with the truth exposed, Jiang Qinya still wants to cling to my mother's identity. Mr. Jiang hurriedly tried to snatch the microphone back from me, but it was too late. The entire hall erupted. Old Mr. Jiang and Kongon Din both looked visibly shaken. After the banquet, I casually sent all the evidence of Jiang Qinya's schemes against my mother to the Jiang patriarch. That pile of documents was the result of 16 years' worth of my pocket money. I had hired a private investigator to dig up every detail. Old Mr. Jiang was so furious he trembled, but that was all within my plan. I knew clearly that he valued blood ties above all else. And now he knew Jiang Qinya was a girl with dubious origins, and Ko Tin Di had no blood relation to the Jiang family whatsoever. Within just an hour, lawyers were arranged to force Jiang Qinya to return all Jiang family shares and have her name removed from the family registry. As for the marriage pact between the Jiang and Ko families, in fact, it had been decided by the 2 old men ever since my mother was still in my grandmother's womb. Kongon Din was the grandson personally raised by the old patriarch of the Ko family, the textbook definition of a pampered heir. So when he married someone not chosen by the old man, the patriarch immediately changed his attitude toward Jiang Qinya. Half a month later, Kongon Din filed for divorce. Mr. and Mrs. Jiang and Jiang Tan, after turning their backs on blood ties and handing over the shares to an outsider, had completely lost the trust of the Jiang patriarch. They lost control of the Jiang corporation and now could only receive a few tens of thousands a month from a trust fund to get by. Jiang Qinya lost everything from marriage to status and bore a grudge against my mother and me. With malicious intent, she once again sought out my father. I received photos from the private investigator. Without hesitation, I forwarded them directly to the Jiang patriarch. I decided to raise the difficulty level for the old man 70 years old. After all, was the perfect time to fight for one's life. Sure enough, the Jiang patriarch didn't disappoint me. He immediately had people send Jiang Qinya to the police station. Although the case wasn't serious enough for a formal charge, she could only be detained for 10 days or half a month. The Jiang patriarch still released a slew of her hidden scandals. The deeper you dig, the worse it gets. When Jiang Qinya was finally released, her reputation was in ruins. A painter with no name left couldn't earn a living anymore. After losing all his money, my father became greedy and tried to blackmail her with the dirt he had. She refused. Enraged, my father beat her and in the process accidentally killed her. Because it was involuntary manslaughter, my father was sentenced to life in prison. As for the Jiang family, they were already completely disgraced. The Jiang patriarch not only valued blood ties, but also held a deep bias in favor of daughters over sons. He had only one son, Mr. Jiang, but spent his life regretting that he never had a daughter. After all the hardship, he finally had a granddaughter to dote on from a young age, only to later discover that she was a fake. Worse still, the entire Jiang family had conspired to cover it up. Now the whole Jiang family was desperately trying to find me and my mother, hoping to regain the old man's trust through us. Meanwhile, my mother and I were eating BBQ on the balcony of our new home, wide and sunlit. My phone buzzed a few times. It was a message from the Jiang patriarch. QQ, dear, come visit this weekend. Okay, didn't you keep saying you wanted grilled meat? Grandpa will eat with you. For the matter with Jiang Qinya, of course the Jiang patriarch knew I had deliberately exposed everything to him and Kung On Din. If I hadn't done it, the Jiang family would have kept it secret for life. But with his lifetime of experience, the old man knew well that every move had come from me. So he started actively trying to win me over, wanting me to study business under him and even promising to hand over the Jiang Corporation for me to inherit. I declined. In fact, I even thought, this old man was truly ruthless, more ruthless than a chili pepper. I texted back, not going. Looking down, I saw another piece of grilled meat had appeared in my bowl. The first piece of BBQ, my mother would always be the one to give it to me. I looked at her and my eyes blurred again. Startled, my mother asked in a panic, QQ, what's wrong? Did the smoke get to your eyes? Let me blow it for you. I threw my arms around her and planted a loud kiss on her cheek. Life isn't always fair, and family, something that seems sacred, can sometimes be the source of the deepest wounds. But it is precisely through those adversities that we realize what truly matters isn't fame or wealth, but sincere love and self-respect. A mother brave enough to protect her child through storms, a girl determined to preserve her dignity through injustice, that's real strength. No matter how skillfully lies are crafted, they will eventually be exposed. And truth, if we hold firm, will always find its light. Forgiveness is a choice, not an obligation, and those who benefit from wrongdoing cannot justify their innocence. In the end, when all the masks fall away, only those who live truthfully, love genuinely, and dare to fight for what's right deserve to step into the light as victors. Thank you for watching Ken's Stories. I hope you enjoyed a relaxing and captivating storytelling experience. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support gives me the motivation to create more amazing content.